I should probably post the link. That would be smart, wouldn't it? Oh, it's gonna be bad for a second, but it'll be fine. It's gonna echo because I have to see if the audio is actually gonna work, but actually I could just mute myself here. Hold up. There we go. Okay. I think we're golden. So we have a new league for Beastball. We have Beastball Dynasty, which was an insane idea that somehow is working, where we basically just do a draft league like it's a MyGM or like a team rebuild or like a keeper's fantasy football league, that type of thing. Now, some of these teams are incredible. Actually, I should probably pull off that dock, shouldn't I? That would be smart. Actually, I'll do it the long way. Because I remember most people's teams, but rather be safe than sorry. Team. There we go. Okay. There's teams. Cool. So, I guess we should just start. I guess just do it in the order it's in. Where am I? I'll move myself down here, because you might as well do me last. Actually, Peter's here, so we'll do Peter first. Peter, what was your team? Oh yeah, you have Indeed Female. So yours is the Indeed Female, the Crows Madon Wings, Sylveon, Nian Shao, Arcanine, King Gambit, Azumarill, Kilowattrel, Abomasnow, and Quagsire. Obviously Indeed Female's like one of the best Pokemon for draft leagues. Whether you're running Trick Room or not, it's always good. Because just the idea of being able to quick follow me safely is dumb. Psychic Drain's busted, because even if you're not utilizing Psychic Drain with Psy Spam, you're stopping the teams that have terrain as like their main idea. So like kind of like Steven's team, where terrain is a big thing. I don't know who has Rillaboom. I think it's over here. Yeah, like D-Pad who has Rillaboom. It shuts it down pretty nicely. It's also a good answer for anything that like really stops you. So like Amoonguss, it's a great Amoonguss answer because of Follow Me Goggles. I know I played a team that loves spamming Will-O-Wisp against me, so I did Flame Orb Follow Me, so I was already burned, and I just kept redirecting his burns. Indeedee's busted. Dawnwing's Necrozma, I have no clue what it does. I know it gets Expanding Force. Can it set its own Trick Room? Because if Dawnwings can set its own Trick Room, then it's a So, I know it's a dumb special attack, doesn't it? Yeah. So having 157 special attack is really good. You're not as slow as you want for Trick Room because you're still getting undersped by some other mons like King Gambit. I mean, you have it on your team, but you know, Gambit's there that can unspeed you. I mean, your typing's not terrible. You have 2/4 times weaknesses, but your ability kind of helps. What else do we have? So you have Follow Me Trick Room, which is busted. It's probably the best way to set up Trick Room. The only way to stop Follow Me Trick Room is either kill the Follow Me and then kill the setter, or imprison. Sylveon is, I've said it, I'll say it again, it's just Flutter Mane, but slower and more bulky. So Flutter Mane can be really good with if you play with its speed tier. You can make it slow to be a Trick Room attacker. You can make it fast, give it a Scarf to make it like something to fight Tailwind attackers. Manshell's great. It's your best form of Fake Out you have. Ligeguard's busted. Overall, just a great support. The only thing I have to worry about is like Fake Out Psychic Terrain, but most people can play around that. Arcanine at 13 is a steal. I just noticed that Arcanine was worth 13. Arcanine's busted. It's not like a league winning Pokemon, but it's like one of the best glue Pokemon you can find. Like obviously Intimidate is great. Having Intimidate also just gives it more bulk, because you know they can't hit you as hard physically when you switch in. Obviously Fire type. Your Fire Water Grass Core is okay. Like Arcanine Azumarill is great, but then Abomasnow is kind of tough. Gambit's great, phenomenal Trick Room attacker. You can play it outside Trick Room. You can do Sword Stance. I don't see I don't really see a lot of people do Supreme Overlord because it's VGC, so 4v4 you're not getting too much value off of it. I think Defiant's always better, but it's the only thing that's tough is you don't have Intimidate bait. So like when you have something like King Gambit with Defiant, if you have something very physically attacker, so like kind of like a Dozo or something like Rapid Strike Ursh, something that wants to be intimidated, you get more off of Defiant. So basically, like, if I have something that has Intimidate, I'm just not going to bring it, or I might bring a different ability with it because Intimidate only gets value on 2 mons, and it's not worth the risk of Gambit. Azu, very strong. It has 3 good abilities all around. It gets Sap Sipper as well. Kilowattrel's Tailwind Setter is fine. You don't need like a phenomenal Tailwind Setter with this team because most times you don't want to really play in Tailwind. Abomasnow, it's nice to have just to fight weathers. There are teams like Harvey's, which really just wants weather. Like if it doesn't have weather, it's struggling. So Abomasnow can stop that. And then Quagsire's just there to look dumb. Overall, I think it's a good team. Like, I don't think there's many bad teams that were drafted, which I honestly am surprised how well the drafts went for most people, because with 20 people, you expect to have worse drafts. So, what's the weakness? I think your weakness is if you don't have speed control. It's like, if you don't have Trick Room up, your team is either slow or in the mid-speed tiers. So something that's just like normal speed. I mean, I don't want to use my team, but I'll use my team. Like, if you don't have Trick Room up, I always outspeed you. I think the fastest thing you have on this team, other than like Kilowattrel's Arcanine, like those are your 2 fast mons. So you're very weak to Imprison. I don't really see a way around Imprison. Like, most ways around Imprison are you using like Roar or imprisoning first. But for me, if I can imprison you first, and you have to, or if you have to imprison me first to get your Trick Room up, that's a win. This is active. I don't know. Where do I put it? I still think it's a good team, and I think if you just have to find a way around the Imprison weakness, because being weak to Imprison isn't great. I'll put it. Oh, I never named these tiers. I'll just do the same thing I did last time. That's spelled wrong. putting playoff maybes. It's close. It's between hopeful and maybes. I'll put it in maybes just because of the fact that with this team you can just run away with things. Like if you don't have a good answer to size spam, you do just lose. Like you need an answer to size spam, or else Indeedee female Dawn Wings will just sweep your whole team. I think where the team will struggle is basically if someone has a good answer to Trick Room, then you're screwed. As someone who used Hard Trick Room, it sucks when people have a good answer for it. So like I used Roar Blood Moon to try to stop it, and even that was so niche because people just stopped clicking in prison, and I roared them out for no reason. So I still think it can go well. It just comes down to honestly, it comes down to matchups, which is hard with Trick Room because most people draft at least one Trick Room counter. Who to do next? We'll do Robbie just because I know where this goes. Robbie's team is the best in the league. There's no doubt in my mind that Robbie has the best team in the league. If I were to bet money and like put money down on who I think wins this league, I'm picking Robbie. He also just dropped Empoleon for Grey Room, which makes his team even better. He has Calyrex Ice, Blood Moon, Comfey, Oregon 2, Hariyama. This is now a Grey Room. Weirdier, Ludicolo, Volcanion, Toadschool. This team is absurd. You have, I think that your hard part is you don't have, your redirect is Toadschool. When I see Trick Room wanting to go up, your best bet is like a fake out Trick Room or like a Follow Me, Rage Power Trick Room. In this case, your Follow Me uses Toadschool. But you have three things here that can set Trick Room. You have your Calyrex, you have your Porygon 2, actually 4, you have Weirdier and Toadschool. So you have that nice thing going for you. He also got Blood Moon, as Blood Moon just won MVP. I used it last season. It was absurd. And now you have ways to keep it alive easier. So with Comfey, with 4 healing. Porygon 2 is phenomenal. It's absurdly bulky. You get great value off just having normal Terra Blast because it's stab, and it will take whatever download boost you get and make it that type. So if you get a physical boost and quick Terra Blast, it's going to be a physical move. If you get a special boost in Terra Blast, it'll be a special move. Hariyama is a great Trick Room on. There's never a bad time to use Guts Flame Orb. What else we got? Empoleon. Well, I guess that's Grey Room now. Grey Room's great because it gives him sleep. And I think Fast Spore is never, always a good thing. It's also another way to get Trick Room up. If you have Fast Spore, you can Spore set Trick Room and you're pretty much safe. Weirdier, he had it last season, and it walled my Brambleghast, and that's how I got eliminated from playoffs. So he knows how to use it, and a good thing with Draft League is drafting comfortable, so like picking the stuff you know how to use. Ludicolo, there are some mons that you have to draft just to stop good teams. So like Ludicolo single-handedly beats this whole team. He has Zap. I guess no, he has Zapdos now, but Ludicolo does a good number into 9 lines team. In VGC, you'll see Ludicolo used if you're losing to Kyogre teams. So like for my VGC team, I'm like, man, I was losing to Kyogre. I just put a Swift Swim Ludicolo on it, and even if it doesn't use it against, even if you're not using it against rain teams, you still have Fake Out and all that stuff. I have no clue what Volcanion does. We don't use Volcanion, so let's figure it out. See what Volcanion does. I know it has an ugly shiny. Yeah. I know it gets Steam Eruption, which is 110 base power, 95% accurate, melee burn. Haze, that's gonna be annoying for me. I don't see much else. Like obviously in rain, that Steam Eruption is gonna do a bunch of damage. You're probably gonna run this thing special. Right, special attack, I'm not crazy. Yeah, it's a special attack. You wanna run this thing special. So Heat Wave, kept Scald, but I don't think you ever use Scald over Heat or over Steam Eruption. Scorching Sands is a good tech move. Sludge Wave, it has just a good moveset. Is it bulk? It's bulky enough if you put an AV on it, you can get good bulk. And then Toadschool, Rage Powder, Spore, Trick Room, great support. Yeah, Robbie's team is, I think, best in the league. Now, Robbie's also a good player. Kyogre, Archaludon, Zapdos, Sceptile, Rapid Strike Ursh, Vivian, Smeargle, Bearscuda, Raichu, Salazzle. Overall, this team's good. Like, I don't have any bad things to say about this team. I think he drafted the best support mons he could have. So, also you have Kyogre, VGC staple. If you can't deal with Water Spout, you will just lose. He can strap a Scarf on it if he wants to be faster than you. Archaludon, probably the best thing to put beside Kyogre offensively. Give it an AV, give it Stamina, and then you don't even need power because of rain, so you can just let this thing run away with games. Zapdos is my favorite partner to Rapid Strike Ursh. Anything that hits Rapid Strike Ursh is weak to Zapdos. So your Grass, your Electrics, your Flyings, all getting hit by Zapdos. I'm not sure what the Sceptile's doing on this team. I don't see terrain. I don't think there's an item that gets used when it's raining. So I'm not sure if he's going to go for like an Unburden strat. I could just be missing it. Speaking of Rapid Strike Ursh, the farthest this thing has ever fallen in a draft league. He got Rapid Strike Ursh in a rain team. I used it I used it in Season 2 on the rain team. And I got 2 hits of a Surging Strikes to kill a Zapdos. So it's absurd. Vivian, great value pick. Brengard, Rage Powder is phenomenal. Also gets Tailwind, it gives you sleep support. If you don't want to run Frengard for some reason, you can do Compound Eyes and you won't be missing your sleep powders. Smeargle, again, versatility is king in VGC. If you have a mon that is very versatile, you are immediately in a great spot. And Smeargle is just that. Being able to do whatever. You can change trains if you want. You can put things to sleep. You can quick decorate into a Kyogre. The last thing I want to see is Kyogre with a +2 boost. You can give stuff weakness policies and then let Smeargle proc them with Bulldoze or whatever thing it needs to proc it with. Smeargle's great. I was going to use it last season, but it was way too high points. He also has Bearscuda. Bearscuda has this fun thing I like to do, where if you're the fastest one on the field, you can Terra whatever Terra Blast. So I use Bearscuda as a way to Terra Fire, or Terra Fairy Terra Blast a Walking Wake on a rain team. So you just Swift Swim, and then you just OHKO it. You're fastest, give it a Life Orb, give it a Band, whatever you need to give it. OHKO it. I think Raichu is probably the most important part of this team. I think if Raichu's not on this team, it's not as good as it is. He has a pretty big electric weakness with his big hitting mons, right? So Ursh, Kyogre. Raichu is the best support mon he can have. Fake Out, Lightning Rod, Nuzzle for speed control. You can do Thunder if you really want to do damage, but I doubt it. And then he also has Salazzle. I know Salazzle in like singles can do Toxic and stuff like that. I don't know how much it does in doubles, but overall, Nightline's team is great. I have no like harsh words about this team. I think it is undoubtedly a playoff lock. The nice thing is this archetype isn't too super hard to play. It's not like you have to dodge hard matchups. I mean, his weakness would be just turning off his weather or turning off the abilities, right? Everything here wants its ability. So if we just turn that off, it's not an issue anymore. Or the easy way to do it is just turn off the rain, right? Manual weather will always beat automatic weather. Whoever gets their weather up last. And Kyogre, for example, if you have something with a lone full picks, you're automatically in a good spot against this team. Not even Ninetales full picks. He just needs better, like also stuff like Vivian gets Tailwind, so if he can utilize that, it would be great. Who's next? Lalo. He drafted one of the weirder teams I've seen. So he has Regieleki, Rayquaza, Arcanine Sui, Magmar, Farigiraf, Suicune, Shiftry, Morgrem, Golurk, and Weezing Galar. Okay, Spuds. Lalo's team is weird. Regieleki with the first pick is something. I don't know what Regieleki does in this like type of format. When I see Regieleki, you can't do this like super fast attacker anymore. If you try to do that, all you're gonna do is like be picking off these lower parts of the rosters. Like looking at Spoolboy's team, fast Regieleki kills these, but odds are you're not gonna see these as much as you'll see his top 5 mons, right? When I see Regieleki, I think you kind of have to go support now, right? You go screens, you're going Thunder Waves, Electro Web, maybe even Thunder Cage. Like you go support, which I don't think is. I think he picked it really high. Like I think he reached pretty high on Lucky. Rayquaza, I think, is super underwhelming. Now it's nice that you're turning off weathers, right? Obviously, you're gonna deal with 919's team well. You'll deal with Cyrus's team well. But other than that, it seems kind of underwhelming. Like I used Choice Band beside Champao, and even then, it seemed like it kind of was just missing some KOs. Without having POW and without having like a band, I think it's super underwhelming. And I think missing out on Champao also hurts his next mod, Hisuian Arcanine. This is like the perfect Champao mod. Like obviously you can use it as a bulky intimidator, give it Will-O-Wisp, give it these support moves. But if you can run Rockhead and Head Smash beside a Champao, everything dies. Like I think missing out on Champao hurt him a lot. Who did end up drafting it? Because I know someone did. Oh, Mr. Sheet, yeah. So I honestly, I think instead of going Hisuian Arcanine here, it would be better just to draft Champao then. But I think he thought that since it fell so far, he was safe to get away with it. Magmar is a good pick though. Magmar and Electabuzz went pretty high because Follow Me is busted. They also have great synergy with their abilities. So Follow Me synergizes great with Flame Body, it synergizes great with Static. But overall, yeah, Magmar is great. Farigiraf, I think Farigiraf is going to be mostly used as a way to turn off Trick Room and to turn off Priority. Am I quiet? Here, see if I can turn myself up. That's as loud as it's gonna go. Let's see. Let me move. Move the mic closer, see if it helps. Where was I? Oh, yeah. He doesn't really have a Trick Room mode as much as he just wants to turn off Trick Room. Other than that though, like Suicune's okay. Tailwind, speed, it gets you the best speed control you can have. Tailwind, Icy Wind. It kept Scald, which is really nice for it, just as that extra attacking move. Shift Tree can abuse your Tailwind for you. I use Bramble Gas. Shift Tree can do basically the same thing with Wind Rider. Morgrum gives you pranks for screens, gives you Fake Out. Honestly, Morgrum's great because it just saves you from having to draft Grimmsnarl. Golurk, I think Golurk is like your Trick Room attacker. So if you do want to bring a Trick Room mode, you can bring like, I don't know, like you can bring something like these 4, and then bring Farigiraf and Golurk, and have Golurk attack in Trick Room. And then he drafted Glory and Weezing, turn off abilities. I think it's tough because his team also really wants abilities. Now there's ways around that. But there's not much on his team that doesn't want its ability. I think Magmar is the only thing. Maybe even Rayquaza, who really doesn't care about their ability. Overall, though, he drafted well. Like, he spread out most of his points. He doesn't have many low point Pokemon. I think the only, like, bad thing I have to say is there's just not a lot of synergy. He has, and I guess that kind of makes it a balanced team. But even then, I feel like if it's a balanced team, you're missing a few things. Like, your Fire, Water, Grass core is Arcanine, Suicune, Shift Tree. Having Shift Tree be your grass type isn't great, because Dark Grass is a horrible type. I feel like your restricted is like missing out on that restricted punch, where it's almost not better to have a restricted if he's like it takes up your legendary, like another legendary shot you have. It takes up your restricted spot, and it's not giving you that punch. But Wall's also good at the game. I think, where do I put Wallow? I think it's safe to put him in playoff maybes or playoff hopefuls. Just based off like the team itself, I think it's gonna take him a lot of work to get to playoffs. Now, obviously, like I said, he's good at the game. He knows what he's doing, but the team makes it harder on himself. I mean, Spuds is kind of here, so let's find where he is. Now, I said it earlier. I like his team. I would do terrible with it, but I like his team. Zamazenta, Grimmsnarl, Torn, Petrarun, Gyarados, Volcarona, Garchomp, Iron Thorns, Gothrita, and Riolu. His first point, I guess, was the hoggle of the prankster Pokemon. He has Grimm, Torn, and Riolu. So, immediately he's gonna have issues with Dark types and Prankster, but he can get around that. This team is very balancy, which I think goes well with his playstyle. The combo of like Gyarados, Volcarona is very good. Those are two great balance Pokemon that work well together. I think Volcarona is one of the best Draft League Pokemon. Being able to run offensive, being able to run support, or run bulk. Like, you have that option with Volcarona. Same as Gyarados, but you can run this like Intimidate bulky attacker, or you can run Moxie if you really feel like it. Zamazenta Crowned, I think is okay. I think it's better in Draft League than VGC for the pure reason that there's less things that can take it out. But I think it's also going to have some issues because people can prep for it. Whether that be Haze, also you can't clear Smog it, but whether it be Haze or Sacred Sword or something like that to ignore the defense buffs. I think having Grimmsnarl beside it's going to be very handy. Setting up screens is like a must besides Zamazenta. Make it even more bulky. Torn's a good pick. It's going to give you your speed control. It's going to change your weathers. It's just going to make stuff a pain, right? So like stuff against like Cruz's teams and Nimelime's team really want to have weather. You can just change it to snow or change it to sun or whatever, right? Petrarun is annoying because it's a Spoods Pokemon. It's gonna be so annoying because behind screens he can hit you, it will poison you and confuse you. This is when I dip down to the fact that after you're poisoned and confused, you can be stuck on the field. Gothrita won't let you switch out. I think Gothrita for 1 is a great idea. Same as Riolu for 2. Riolu for 1. But I think that Gothrita and Petrarun are actually really good beside each other if you use it correctly. Obviously, Fake Out is great. But mostly the fact that you can lock people on their field after they're confused and after they are poisoned. Garchomp, I think, is just... It's a balancing Pokemon, right? Garchomp is there for the pure fact of doing damage, right? You have Sword Stance, you have Rage Powder Sword Stance right here. You have Fake Out Sword Stance here and here. So if you can set up with it, you're golden. He also has a good amount of flying types and something that's bulky enough to the point where cooking EQ won't matter into it. Iron Thorns is the only thing I'm not sure. I know it might be like Loaded Dice and like Pin Missile or like Rock Blast. It's not a beautiful matchup. It does give him some types that he's missing, right? He didn't have a Rock type. He didn't have an Electric type. So it gives him the types he's missing. It also gives him a okay matchup into like Steven, but Overall though, I do think this is a good team. Purely for the fact that it goes, I think if this is like, if I have this team, it's a playoff maybe. Like I'll put it around like here. But these types of balanced teams benefit Spoods a lot. I think when he tried to do a gimmick team in Season 2, it backfired on him immensely. But Season 1, he had a balanced team and it went well. Season 3, he did much better. So yeah, we'll put it in playoff locks. I think it's still behind Nimelime's though. We'll do Steven next, and Steven has the Miraidon. So this team is really good. Miraidon, Iron Hands, Heart Flame, Iron Jugs, Murkrow, Rotom Wash, Bronzong, Iron Treads, Bramble Gas, Iron Leaves, and Crocolore. So first of all, Miraidon is great. There is not many things that can take a Specs Miraidon attack in general because of the Electric Dream, the Huron Driver boost, the Specs boost, the Stab boost, all that stuff. Not much can take it. Miraidon is always going to be good. He also has the option with his Iron Jugs to do a Dragon Cheer set where you can go Dragon Cheer and do like Overheat and Draco Meteor, make it that you're critting every time, which is also very strong. He also has Iron Hands, and Iron Hands with an ability is stupid. Iron Hands was one of the best VGC Pokemon without an ability. It didn't get to use Court Drive much, but even then it was AV and all that stuff. It was busted. Now you're letting it get its ability, so if you want to go bulk, you can go heavy into bulk, or you can go heavy into bulk and still be able to attack. It gives you the versatility of running Sword Stance sets, right? So you have a phenomenal option here. Iron Hands can also be used as a good Trick Room counter. He brought back the Heart Flame. He had it last season. It went well, and now he has it once again. It's a Heart Flame. We know what it does. He ran Sword Stance a lot of the time, so expect that again. Talked about Jugs. Murkrow for one was maybe, just maybe a whoops on our part. And I can tell you right now, he's going to sign Murkrow for one for 3 seasons. It's going to be annoying to deal with every season. It's going to do the basic Murkrow things. It's going to have Tailwind. It's going to have Haze. It's going to have Foul Play. Foul Play is going to be great into this restricted meta. Rotom Wash gives him a much needed water type. It gives him bulk. It gives him mostly everything he needs. Will-O-Wisp is great. Honestly, it's a Rotom Wash. It's going to do exactly what you think it's going to do. You don't have much versatility with it. It's still really good. Bronzong is your Trick Room answer. This team loses to Trick Room. Which is another reason I think Robbie's team is so good, because there's a lot of teams that are losing to Trick Room. Bronzong is your only Trick Room answer. You have one, so if he has to play very safe with it, but it's a needed pick, which makes it a great pick. Iron Treads, I don't know what I think about Iron Treads. I think that it's good because it's going to give him some type coverage he doesn't have. It's another Pokemon that can abuse Electric Terrain. You can give it a band and then have it be boost with speed, I think, and band, which is really nice. Brambleghast will be his Tailwind abuser, so put Brambleghast beside a Murkrow and just let it go. Brambleghast did great things for me last season, and it will do the same for Steven. I'll skip Iron Leaves for now. We'll go to Crocalor. I know it's like the meme pick, but like, Eviolite Crocalor is very bulky, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, whatever. Eviolite Crocalor is very bulky, and I think it's even. Let's check how bulky it is, because I know it's not like absurd, but it has respectable bulk. Like, that's respectable bulk with an Eviolite. So, it can do annoying things. It gets Will-O-Wisp. Also, it has Slack Off. It has ways to heal itself. It can do annoying things. It can have Snarl to be disrupted that way. Yawn to put you to sleep. Like, honestly, it's not a bad pick. And now we have Iron Leaves, and I'm going to refrain from talking about Iron Leaves. This mon is terrible. I've seen it used in Electric Terrain. It was terrible. I think if you put it beside a Miraidon, it's still going to be terrible. If this thing gets at least 2 kills, I'll consider it a win. Overall, though, Steven has a great team. I think Steven's team is 1000% a playoff lock. I think it's on the upper end of the playoff locks as well. What Steven has to watch out for is 2 things. One is Trick Room. He has nothing that can stop Trick Room other than this Bronzong. And the other thing he has to watch out for is stuff that's going to fight his terrain. He has a good amount of things on his team that don't need terrain. Like, Iron Hands doesn't need it. Obviously, Heart Flame, Murkrow, Wash, all don't need it, right? So, he can work without it. I think his biggest issue will be Trick Room, which sucks because you have a lot of teams that are running Trick Room this season. Melvin Mafia. That's a new person to Beastball, and I'm 90% sure that that is Deepav. I think it is. I should probably be checking these in case I get one wrong. But I'm 90% sure it's Deepav. So, he has a good team. He has kind of a balancey team as well, where he has this Terapagos, this Rillaboom, Oranguru, Hatterene, Illumise, Sneasler, Sandy Shocks, Entei, Haxorus, Golduck. First thing you're going to see is Terapagos. It got 2nd place at the most recent regional. That was a... what set did he run? I'm pretty sure he was Combined instead better specs. But he had a very cool set. Trapagos can do this fun thing where you Calm Mind and you wait to get hit, and you just keep clicking Calm Mind until you get hit the first time. And then after that, you Terra Starstorm, and you run through everything. He has Rillaboom. We know what Rillaboom does, but he also has Sneasler, so that combo's coming back. That combo did a lot for Wallow last season. I'm expecting it to do the same. He has a nice Trick Room pair right here. You can use these as Trick Room answers, or Trick Room setter if you want to run your own Trick Room strats. The main thing I like is that you don't need a Rangaroo. So like, let's say I'm playing against a Trick Room team, I can just bring Hatterene, and it's like, hey, you can get Trick Room up, but if you get Trick Room up, I do have a Hatterene on my team now. Ilmise, Prankster Tailwind. Sandy Shocks, I think gives him Gravity Hypnosis, something that is very potent, because obviously no Sleep Clause. Entei is a great balance Pokemon, because it gives him just a good Fire type. He doesn't really have a Fire Water Grass core, because I don't really want to consider Golduck his Water type. Haxorus does great. I think it's just one best C tier in Beastball, so that's a thing. And then Golduck, it lets him beat the teams that... Well, it lets him have a better matchup into those teams that are using Weathers. What's his weakness? He has such a balanced team. Yeah, he has such a balanced team that you don't have many weaknesses. Technically I want to say Trick Room is your weakness, because... No, but you could turn it off pretty easily. Like, Guru and Hatterene are hard to break through if you're trying to turn off Trick Room. I think, like, honestly, he's a playoff block. It comes down to how good he is, right? I've never played with him or against him, so it comes down to how well he plays. If he can play a good balance archetype, then he has a great team. If he struggles with like balance archetypes and does better with these gimmick teams, then it's gonna be tough for him. Who's next? Purple. Purple's team is something. Purple drafted Mewtwo, and I think if you look up mid in Cerebi, Mewtwo shows up. Yeah, see, it's right here. This thing sucks. Like, I think it's honestly terrible. It has it's probably the most power creep restricted I've ever seen. And it's like, wow, look at this high special attack stat. And man, he's got good speed stat, and he has even good bulk. And then you realize it gets no moves. Its best move you're gonna click with Expanding Force, until you realize that on Purple's team, he didn't get any of the Psychic Terrain setters, nor anything that can click Psychic Terrain without it being an ability. So it's already kinda tough. Now, he has Psychic type moves, and that's it. You don't wanna, like, you're not gonna run Solar Beam, you're not gonna run Thunder, you're not running Hyper Beam, you don't wanna click Trick Room, you don't wanna click Hurricane, you don't wanna click Focus Blast. Its best special move that's 100% accurate, that's not Psychic, is like Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, like it's gonna be these. If you wanna guess what this, like, Mewtwo's gonna run, it's going to be Aura Spear, it's gonna be Aura Spear, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, Psychic, Flamethrower. It's gonna be one of these 5 moves. Those are its attacking moves. If you could, there might be Protect in there. I know with Gardevoir, he did like Trick Scarf things. You might see Dark Pulse sometimes. But like, overall, it's just not a great Pokemon, especially for a restricted. Now, the rest of the team is okay. I think Roy Moon is a great Pokemon. Even though it's Roaring mid, I think in Draft League, it's not as bad. Because there's less things that can take its hits. As you go down the roster, let's look at Harvey's team. As you go down the roster, Roaring Moon can kill these. Right? Now, this isn't, actually, he has a super effective move against most of these. But, like, as you go down the roster, Roaring Moon kills more things. So, like, over here, Roaring Moon won't kill these right here. It's gonna struggle with those. But it's gonna kill all of these. Exclude the Entei. So as you go farther down the roster, it's gonna pick off at least 2 kills. Which is what you want. If you can get 2 kills a battle, it's golden. Manaphy, another Pokemon I don't use because it's mythical, so I know it gets Tail Glow. And I know that's like its big thing, is it Tail Glows and then sleeps. But the move I see it use a lot is Surf. So, does it have a good single target water move that's not... Yeah, does it have a good single target water move? Because in singles, you click Surf, and there's no punishing for clicking Surf. If you Tail Glow and click Surf, you're killing your partner. Single target water move, Water Pulse, no. Never want chilling water. Icy Wind's a nice thing to have. Hydro Pump. Oh, so it's a bundle. Okay. Yeah, so your best move you can click if you're not clicking Oh, you're Scald. Never mind, kept Scald. That's huge for it. Also, it has 100 base stats everywhere. Now, I think Manaphy is okay. Electivire, great pick. I think Electivire is a phenomenal pick. Gives you Follow Me, gives you good bulk. Something like an Electivire, and we'll talk about Corviknight down here too. Same as Garganacl, he only has like 3 bulky things. He needs all the bulk he can get, because Mewtwo, Roaring Moon, Ogerpon, Blaziken, and Zoroark aren't known for their bulk. So, having something that can redirect into bulk is very good. Ogerpon, it has Defiant. He doesn't really have he has like, this is where I think Defiant is really good, because he has great Intimidate bait. Right here, you want to intimidate you want to intimidate you. The only scary part is people actually might not bring Intimidate at all because of Corviknight. Mirror Armor will stop the Intimidates, but overall, Corviknight's still really good. Tailwind, blah blah blah. We skipped Blaziken. No clue what it does. I just kind of assume it's going to be cooking close combat and Flare Blitz. It gets speed boost, so it can run away. This is another team that is very weak to Trick Room. He has his only speed control option is you can run Tailwind Moon, Icy Wind Manaphy, Thunder Wave, which isn't great, and then really it's just Corviknight. I'm not sure if Zoroark gets Trick Room. I don't think it does. Because Zoroark gets Trick Room, I know it gets Imprison. Does Hisuian Zoroark get Trick Room? Because there's Imprison. It's one of the only Pokemon that went Imprison by level up. Does it get Trick Room? I don't see it. It's Trick. Toxic. No, doesn't get Trick Room, which is very tough because it gets rid of like your main speed control. So like I said, another team that loses a Trick Room, a reason why Robbie is very good. I think the big issue with this team also, other than losing a Trick Room, is just like the synergy it has. It's actually missing a lot. Like nothing here is like, oh, I want to be beside this. He has no Pokemon that is simply helping the other one. My team is the best to look at this for, where everything I draft has a partner, right? Fluttermane and Moth, Dozo and Geary, Weezing and Gigas, Torkoal and Jumpluff. All of them are partners. You say, okay, I have this Pokemon, it's going to help this. Purple's team doesn't have that. Moon doesn't help Mewtwo. It's a good type combos, right? They cover for good types, but Moon doesn't help Mewtwo much. Manaphy isn't good against with Fire, or Manaphy doesn't do well beside Mewtwo. He doesn't have something that's like, I just want to help this. Overall, though, I think he's a playoff hopeful. I think I think the issue is like you don't have synergy, and when you're missing synergy, it's kind of tough. Also, losing the Trick Room is very bad because his team is naturally pretty fast, like all pretty fast mons here. Ogerpon's fast, Blaziken has speed boost, so I can set Trick Room just as a way to get speed control, which is bad. That's something you never want to have happen. Next up is Scoobar. Where's Scoobar? Scoobar has a cool team. He drafted Lunala, and guess what? We have another Trick Room team. Lunala, Single Strike Ursaluna, Diancie, Salamence, Blastoise, Magmortar, Toxtricity, Sizzle, and Meganium. Trick Room. I don't know what Diancie does. I'm going to look at that first. Because we don't use Diancie. I guess it does. Is there anything else I need to look up here? No. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what Diancie does. I I know it gets Diamond Storm, and that does a lot of damage. How slow is it? Cool, shiny. How slow is it? 50 base speed. Oh my goodness, it's bulky as fuck. Okay. So, gravity's nice. Is it special attacker? Or is it mixed? It's mixed. So, you can run whatever, which is always nice. Power of Meteor Beam, something you can do. It does get Trick Room, so he does have Redirect Trick Room, I think, right? Yep, he has Follow Me Trick Room, which is great. You need that. Let me start closing some of these tabs. He has Follow Me Trick Room, which is phenomenal. Calm Mind is nice. Power Jam. Rock Slide if you want to go physical. Dual Screens. Has all of the weathers. What does Diamond Storm do? 100 base power, 95% accurate, 50% chance to boost the user's defense stat by 2. It's a spread move? Hits all adjacent foes. Is it a spread move? Yeah, it's a spread move. That's absurd. So he can kind of do what I did with Blood Moon, and it's 50 base speed. So you are on the same speed tiers as Calyrex, which is a phenomenal thing to be. Yeah, it's great. Other than that, he has Single Strike Ursh. Single Strike Ursh is great. Oh, I dropped something. Single Strike Ursh is great. You can make it really fast to have something to clean up with Trick Room. You can make it slow enough to be in Trick Room. You have Ursh, which is great. Like, there's nothing wrong with Ursaluna. Normal Bear is just as good as Moon Bear. We went over Diancie. Salamence, I think it's one of the better Tailwind setters. It gives you Intimidate. Blastoise. Fake Out. It's kind of like Diet Kyogre sometimes. It's just if you play it correctly. Like Mortar for Follow Me. Scizor, a great extra Pokemon to put in. If you're ever like, oh, I don't know what to bring for the 6th Pokemon, Scizor is always good. I love Toxtricity on this team. Terra Normal Boomburst is great because you have one Ghost type, one thing that resists it, one thing that commonly tears to Ghost. So, you're in a great spot. Meganium, no clue what Meganium does. I kind of think it's just there to look pretty. Let's see if I can figure out what Meganium does. Overgrow, Leaf Guard, so you're only going to really run Leaf Guard with, or Overgrow with it. Blizzard, Charm. Yeah, it seems okay. Just like looking at it quickly. It's pretty bulky, so you can run like a defensive set with it. Overall, Scoobar's team's great. And he is 100% a playoff lock. Yeah, he's 100% a playoff lock. I don't think there's a world where we see Scoobar fall out of the playoffs. His weakness, playing out of Trick Room, is going to be tough. He has 2 really slow Pokemon. Ursh has a 4 times weakness. You're going to really need Sash on it. His restricted isn't beautiful. I don't think I talked about Lunala, but like Wide Guard Trick Room, honestly, it does good damage. It's good for his team. Playing out Trick Room can be hard. But if he knows what to do, you're fine. Who do we have next? Oh, we have Harvey. This one's gonna be fun. Harvey. I love and hate this team. During like my first recording of this, before I decided to stream it, I constantly shit on Harvey's team because it's the easiest team to pick apart. Harvey is he had the 12th pick because I traded down to him. So he had 2 picks in the first round. He opted for Koraidon and Incineroar. He paired that with Raging Bolt, Alcremie, Cresselia, Vaporeon, Skarmory, Lilligant, Chandelure, and Slitherwing. He has a rain team. He has a sun team. What else do you want me to say? Raging Bolt and Sun, very scary. Koraidon, very scary. Incineroar, I'm not too scared of. I've played against a lot of it, so most people know what to do. Slitherwing and Sun is pretty good. I think the only scary part of putting Slitherwing in a Sun team is that you are basically increasing your fire weakness, right? You're already weak because of Bug. The last thing you want to do is increase that weakness. Now, he has a return of what he calls the Creamy Mommy combo, which is all Creamy and Cresselia. He uses Stored Power Cresselia beside Decorate. I think that's really good. I think giving Raging Bolt a Decorate boost is really scary. God forbid he gives it to Koraidon. I think Vaporeon's not great. I don't see what Vaporeon does. I think Skarmory's a good pick. It's going to give him Tailwind. Logan's a great pick because it's going to support the slow things on his team. Chandelure gives him a Trick Room option. Slow Trick Room attacker. You can put that beside like Cress, All Creamy, and Incineroar. You have a Trick Room mode. It's not all the way there. Where I think this team loses is you just turn off Sun. Like, Koraidon wants Sun. Incineroar doesn't need it, but it's nice. Raging Bolt wants Sun. Slitherwing wants Sun. Like, his main damage dealers all really want Sun. So simply put, turn off the Sun. I think that's the main reason I think Harvey's team is a playoff maybe. Because it does one thing, right? Until I see him be able to do more with this team, he doesn't have a balanced mode with this team. It's going to be very hard to do balance with this team. So you kind of know what to expect, which is very bad in Draft League. You don't want to know what to expect. I think if you just change the weather, you win. Change it to rain. If you change it to rain, Koraidon gets hurt, Incineroar gets hurt, Bolt gets hurt, Wilgan gets hurt, Chandelure gets hurt, and Slitherwing gets hurt. So, 6 Pokemon really want the rain, or really want the sun. So, I think it's a good team though. I think he has to get very good at playing around the other weathers. This is Smitty. This is Smitty, right? I'm not even sure that's Smitty's team. Because his logo is being made, and he's using Schoolboys right now. So yeah, it's Smitty. What can I say? He has a Calyrex Shadow team. With the first pick in the first round, you pick Calyrex Shadow. Somehow we let him get Whimsicott and Wellspring. This team is phenomenal. I think, I mean, I know where I'm putting this immediately. It's on the high end of playoff locks. Right? Let's go over it real quick. Obviously, Calyrex Shadow does Calyrex Shadow things. It doesn't have Expanding Force, but who cares? Whimsicott, best support you can grab for this thing. Sets Tailwind for it. Fake Tears. So let's say that you resist my Astral Barrage. I'm going to click Fake Tears, and you no longer resist my Astral Barrage. Absurd. Wellspring. Fall May support for Calyrex. You're never going to OHKO a Wellspring unless you have Freeze Dry, so you're guaranteeing at least one turn of Calyrex Shadow. Clefairy. More Follow Me. It has Frengard, so you're guaranteeing even more turns of Calyrex Shadow. He's able to play Protect Mr. President, which is really good when you have a Calyrex Shadow. Now, he also has Clefairy Snorlax. Snorlax is great because you can run Belly Drum sets with it beside Clefairy and then just Heal Pulse it. It's very good. Great Tusk, it gives him a balancing Mon. A Mon that can cover weaknesses, a Mon that has a good move pool to hit other things. Now, he also kind of has a Sun mode he can do by just setting Sunny Day for the Great Tusk and let Great Tusk run over everything. Weavile gives him his Fake Out. There you go. Fake Out priority, it's a Weavile. We know what it does. Altaria gives him options against these weather teams. Metang is a good wide guard user, bulky with Eviolite. Dedenne, you can actually do some funny Dedenne things where you can entrainment plus onto something and then give it that huge attack boost. This team is great. I think this team misses a few things. Out of like the core Draft League things, it actually doesn't have Intimidate, which is like hard, right? If you play against a very physical team and you don't have Intimidate, it's tough to beat. But overall, this is one of the best teams in the league. I think it is a guarantee in the playoffs. I think if this team doesn't go in the playoffs, it's going to be really tough. He has ways to, beat Kyrex Shadow's biggest weaknesses, right? Priority. He has to beat priority. Well, good thing he has 2 things with Follow Me. Next is our fearless Commissioner Schoolboy, who recently changed his team. He has Ting Lu, Mousehold, Heatran, Solgaleo, Annihilate, Chestnut, Grafaiai, Berserker, Slowbro, Noivern, and Dachshund. He has a balanced team. Now, first things first, he has Mouseape. Mouseape has done well in every season in Beastball. Most times it's made it to the finals. It's done great. Ting Lu, there's not much on. Ting Lu's perfect because in Assault Vest, Ting Lu does well against every team. If your team doesn't care about an Assault Vest Ting Lu, that's really bad. Because if your team doesn't care about Assault Vest Ting Lu, he can just go purely physical bulk. And now you have to deal with a purely physical bulk Ting Lu. It's very difficult. Mouse, I talked about versatility. Mouse is the best versatility Pokemon in draft leagues. You can go with Pop Bomb sets, go Terra Normal and Pop Bomb everyone. You can go the support set with the Helping Hand, the Follow Me. You can do Hybrid if you really want, don't recommend it. Heatran, great Pokemon. It also gives him another slow mode, right? It lets him be able to fight in Trick Room with this Slowbro. It's a Heatran, we kind of know what it does. Terra Grass makes it very hard to hit super effectively. Solgaleo is his now restricted. He dropped a few things to get it. I think the best thing you can do with Solgaleo is weakness. It has full body armor, so you can't drop its stats with Intimidate. Yeah, the best thing you can do is weakness, right? Get weakness policy and start hitting things. Annihilate, we brought up. Annihilate, you can also do the fun thing of, does he still have... No, so he doesn't have Howl anywhere. Actually, Solgaleo might have Howl. And if it does have Howl, that's a cool thing you can do. If you really want to, you can make Annihilate pure bulk, and then just invest 0 attack and just plan the fact that you're going to quick bulk up twice. Chestnut, Spiky Shield, it's just a Chestnut. Grafaiai is great Prankster, it's a great Disruptor. Berserker is a great partner for Solgaleo because it's going to increase your Steel type moves. Slowbro is a great Pokemon to set Trick Room and turn Trick Room off. If you give it Covert or you make it Terra Ghost, you can actually not turn it off unless you have Imprison. Because of Oblivious, it can't be taunted. Because of Covert, it can't be faked out. So it's a great Pokemon to stop or set up Trick Room. Noivern, I kind of see Terra Nova Boomburst, right? It's also Tailwind if you need it, but Terra Nova Boomburst, he has 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll say. Well, he has 4 things that resist it, 1 thing that's immune to it. So he has a good way to Terra Nova Boomburst everything. He also has Dodge Bun, which pairs really well with his Heatran. This Lava Plume Heatran can give your Dodge Bun the buffs. And then if you put Dodge Bun beside Ting Lu after, you now have a Dodge Bun with, like, let's say +2 defense because of a Lava Plume. And now you also have a Heatran, a Ting Lu beside it, so you're lowering their special attack. Overall, just like Dodge Bun works very well on this team. I hope he uses it and it's not just like a throw-in. Schoolboy's team is good. I think it's not weak to Trick Room because you have slow Pokemon. I think its weakness will be speed control, but that's like he's gonna have to play with Trick Room up just to beat the Tailwind teams. But other than that, he has a good balanced team. Do I think he's a playoff lock? I think he's close. He's either at like the end of playoff locks or he's in the playoff maybes. I'll put it in front of Harvey's team in playoff maybe. I think it's just on the end of playoff locks. The main reason is because balanced teams are harder to play than giving teams. Now, we've also seen, I also know Spoiler plays. He plays very well. He's a good player. So, I think if he makes the playoffs, I'm just not surprised at all. Mag is next. Mag talked a lot about how they hated their team, which I think is terrible. I think Mag's team is actually pretty good. Oh, wow, New Age just dropped a lot of things. Let's check what New Age is doing. Oh, hold up. Is he? Where's New Age team? Hold up. New Age just did a big thing. Where's his team? Why can't I find it? There it is. New Age is Gholdengo for Lugia, Hydreigon, and Alola. So I'm gonna do New A's team actually. The new A team. I think this is better for New A. Dropping Gouging Fire, it gets rid of your Howl stuff, because Howl on Lando is really nice. I think dropping Flamigo was very smart. He had nothing that really changes his stats much. Lugia gives you a bulky Tailwind setter. I think that's really all it does though. Hydreigon, another Tailwind setter. You can go offensive with it if you want. But I think this doesn't change a lot of New A's team. I think Amoonguss is still great. I think Shaman Sky is still great. You can give it King's Rock because it's doubles. We don't ban things. Lander's T, great in Trick Room. Electabuzz, a phenomenal Fall Me setter. Great synergy with Static. Bruxish, turning off abilities is phenomenal. Arbok is your Intimidate. Pachirisu is one of the best Fall Me user. Or I guess it's the worst Fall Me user, but it's for the best price. I think even with these changes, New A's team doesn't change too far. I think New A's team is a playoff hopeful. I think it's better than Purple's team. I think it's better than Wallow's team. But I think it's still playoff hopeful. Its weakness is Trick Room. Have fun doing with Trick Room. You have a lot of fast Pokemon, and you're going to have to deal with someone being faster than you for 4 turns. They can win the game in 4 turns. You don't have that much bulk on this team. You're very much relying on Amoonguss as your bulk. I guess now you have Lugia, so Amoonguss and Lugia is going to be your bulk, but other than that, you got nothing. Meg. Meg is constantly talking bad about her team. Meg's team is good. Dustman, Necrozma, Enamorous T, Palafin, Meow, Dusclops, Raikou, Tauros Blaze, the Dunsparce, Ribombee, Swanna, Copper. Mag also just made some drops recently as well. So did Nimelines. He dropped, I guess, did we talk about Nimelines? Oh, he did. Yeah, Nimelines, his drops already happened. Where was Mag's drops? Mag dropped Thwacky and Porygon for Swanna, which I don't love. I think Thwacky was great on this team, but with the team that Mag has now, the idea is you have somewhat of a balance team here, right? You have your Firewater Grass Core of Palafin, Diet Arcanine, and let's say offensive Amoonguss. Something I'm interested in seeing is this Trick Room core. Dustman, Necrozma, and Dusclops are a great Trick Room pair. I think for them to be successful though, you have to run Weakness Policy. So you would do Weakness Policy on Duskmane, and then after that, you would set up Trick Room. Duskmane can set its own Trick Room. So you want to basically protect with Duskmane, I guess have Dusclops set up Trick Room, and then the next turn you bulldoze and proc Duskmane's Weakness Policy, and then start attacking things. Enamorous T is a great Trick Room attacker. It gives you an Amoonguss counter. It gives you all that things. It can't be redirected by Rage Cutter with Overcoat. Palafin is a Palafin. It does big damage. Meowscarada is Meowscarada. It does big damage. Being able to do ban, protein, switch out, all that stuff, just like in singles, is just as good in doubles. Dusclops is a great Pokemon. One of the best support Pokemon that there is. Pain Split, a great move. Also Trick Room. Being able to have stuff like Bulldoze and Break Break, the proper weakness policies, is very good with it as well. Raikou gives him feet. It just gives him speed. It gives him like a form of speed control. Tauros Blaze is Diet Arcanine, right? Intimidate, Fire type, Bulk. The Dunsparce, he has 3 ways to set Tailwind now with the Dunsparce, Ribombee, and Swanna. Copperot, I guess, is there anything else? Breaking Protect's always nice. Sticky Webs won't get much value. Quiver won't get much value. Like, the big thing Ribombee can do is set Trick Room. It's immune to Fake Out with Shield Dust, so if you go to Fake It Out, nothing's going to happen. Swanna, I don't see doing much. Copper is your another Trick Room attacker. Meg's team is good. I think it doesn't struggle with being out of Trick Room because of the core of Palafin, Meowscarada, and Tauros Blaze. Make it that even if you're out of Trick Room, you can still fight. Its weakness will just be playing out of Trick Room or out of Tailwind. Being in that mid-speed tier is kind of tough, but this is still a high playoff hopeful. Next, we have Baby Baby. Baby Baby's team is something. He didn't draft Chi-Yu, so I'll give him bonus points for not drafting Chi-Yu. And he did draft my boy. He drafted the Sword Doggo. Sword Doggo, Cornerstone, Moltres Gower, Screentail, Melodic, Volbeat, Clodsire, Armrouge, Baxcalibur, Dugtrio. I'll start with the first thing. Zacian Crown might be the best restricted for draft leagues. And the reason I say that is it is so good when you can prep with it. Like Sacred Sword, Behemoth Blade, and Play Rough are 3 things that not many Pokemon can all resist. Now, it is Intimidate Bait. You're gonna want to intimidate this Ogerpon. Which is why you have a Melodic. Everything that hits this thing, so the things that can hit Zacian Crown are ground types and fire types. Both are weak to water. So Melodic gets great value if you put it beside Zacian because you can't intimidate it, and if you do intimidate, you're giving it a +2 boost because of competitive, then you scald it, and then that thing dies. This is a great pairing. I did this for a VGC team. It's great. Cornerstone Ogerpon, also really good. You can make it slow enough to work in Trick Room. Moltres Gower, and you have not much that can like heal it to make Berserk proc multiple times, but it's still an option. Screentail, I love Screentail for 12 points. I think this is one of the best picks in the draft, other than like Manbeast's Murkrow. Steven's Murkrow is stupid. Booster Speed, Encore, Disable, Support moves. I love Screentail as a Pokemon, I guess as a glue Pokemon. It's very, very good. Volbeat, Prankster, Tailwind, you need Tailwind. Zacian is so fast, if you put a Tailwind behind it, even Scarf Pokemon are not going to be outspeeding it. Clodsire, this is honestly might be baby signature at this point. It did so well with Clodsire, so happy to see it back. Armrouge gives it a good Trick Room attacker. He has a Trick Room thing here with 1, 2, 3, and kind of 4 if it's iffy. But you have 3 Mons. 3 Mons can be good enough for a Trick Room mode. Bax is a balancing Pokemon. Without Hail, it's not as good, but still good enough. And then Dugtrio. Dugtrio's annoying because of Dugtrio besides Screentail. Arena Trap locks them in, and if you disable their Scarfmon, or if you Encore disable them, or if you just Encore their Fake Out, they are stuck in there. They can't switch. So, immediately, you are in a winning spot. Baby's team, his weakness will probably be Trick Room, though. He's going to have to fight with Armrouge in Trick Room a lot. Because I think people will put him in Trick Room to get that speed control, and then they just have to kill Armrouge. After Armrouge is dead, they have speed control. Armrouge is nice, though, because it does give him the weakness policy set. But I think Trick Room is Baby's weakness. But high-end playoff, maybe. I think very high-end playoff, maybe. Next is Stuber. And for Stube, where's his team? He drafted the Ditto in the Ho-Oh, right? Yep. So, Ho-Oh Ditto. Ho-Oh, I think, is just like a bulky Tailwind setter. I don't see it as much else. Ditto, it's always good to have 2 restricted. Ditto's the best way you can do that. Iron Val, very strong Pokemon. Dylan used it in great ways. If he can do the same thing Dylan did, then he'll be in a good spot. Sableye, one of the best Pokemon to disrupt. Whether that be disrupting with weather, whether that be disrupting with taunts and stuff like that, it's great. Iron Crown DD Mail, we saw Dylan do this, it did well. Nothing else I can say about that. He has to worry about Sableye beside DD Mail, but you can deal with that. Araquanid, great Trick Room attacker. It gives you a Trick Room mode. It gives you something to fight against Trick Room. You do kind of have a Trick Room mode with these 3 right here, so that's something you can look out for. Torterra doesn't do much other than really fighting Trick Room, Cell Smash, and what am I thinking of? White Herb is a good thing you can do. Hawlucha, good Pokemon. And Dewgong, good Pokemon. He has Psychic Seed Hawlucha here, right? Psychic Seed Hawlucha is a thing you can do. Dewgong, you saw it on the Gloom team, so that's also a funny thing you can do. I think this team struggles with Trick Room. I think you have Fastmon, probably a Scarf Ditto, so Fastmon, Prankster, Fastmon, Fast-ish, Slow, Fast. So, if you get put in Trick Room, you're kind of screwed. But he's also good. Like, Stube's done very well in Draft League, so he knows what to do. You have enough things to stall Trick Room out, so it's not as big as an issue as I might see it as, if that made any sense. But yeah, I think Stube has a good team. I think he's definitely a playoff maybe. I would put him just behind. Actually, I'll put him just in front of Harvey. I could be sleeping a lot on Harvey's team. I just see one big weakness on Harvey's team, which is changing the weather. And I don't see like as big as a weakness for Stu. Home stretch here. Mimikyu. Oh, this is not new. This is Toasty. That's Toasty's. Toasty's team. I'm surprised I'm remembering half these logos. Toasty has a phenomenal team, and Toasty drafted really well. The reason I think Toasty drafted really well is because if you look at the point spreads all around the place, which is good, because a lot of people have like, I think I'm one of these people, let me check. Yeah, 20, 15, 14, 14, 14, and then the 1s, the 4s, the 3s, that type of thing. So, Reshiram is a restricted. I know Reshiram is one of Toasty's favorite Pokemon, so it's cool that you can use it. I think it gets Tailwind, it's bulky, it can attack very well too, so that's the thing. Serena, obviously kind of a reach, but I think it worked out for her, so I like it. Stopping priority moves, great ability. It got used a lot in Sword and Shield because it was one of the only Pokemon that could do it. It was the best one that could do it, so that's something. Primarina, phenomenal balance Pokemon. Sylveon's good because they can make a stab spread move, so is Primarina. Mimikyu, a great option to turn off Trick Room. This team doesn't want Trick Room up all the time, so it's a great option to turn it off because you can never kill it in one hit, right? You have Disguise. Also, you can click Sword Stance, and if the people just decide to forget about Mimikyu, you can keep clicking Sword Stance. Dipplin, I don't see much about what Dipplin can do. I don't think it's great, but lowering evasiveness is nice for the stuff that can miss, like the, Machigachas. Lando Eye, phenomenal pick. Lando Eye was slept on heavily in this draft. I was going to pick it if it fell to me. It never did. Obviously, it's sheer force life form. Deal with it. It has enough special moves that it can counter other people's teams, so phenomenal Pokemon. Hisui and Gudra is amazing on this team. Sinistra supporting it is phenomenal, right? If you forget about it, it will die. This pairing right here is also very good. So Sinistra we talked about a little, but like it's a support mon. It's gonna heal you. It's gonna have Rage Powder. It's gonna be very good. It can also set Trick Room if it needs to. Meowstic, Franks for Screens, Lantern, Bulky, Speed Control. Toasty's team is good. I like it. I think its weakness is like having if someone sets up Tailwind against it. I'm 90% sure Reshiram gets Tailwind. I want to make sure, because if it doesn't, this team might be worse than I think. Because it needs Tailwind. Does Reshiram get Tailwind? Because obviously, I know it has like great moves. I know it has Prison. Tailwind, this is not a good thing. Oh, it does get Tailwind. Yeah, it does. Okay, so that makes this team a lot better, because the issue with the team would be speed control, right? Your best Tailwind setter, if not, you wouldn't have one. You wouldn't have a Tailwind setter if not for Rush. Now, it also sucks that your restricted has to set Tailwind for you, but this team's not as bad as it would be if you didn't have Tailwind. I think this is the highest playoff hopeful we have. Actually, no, I'll say playoff maybe. It's close. I'll say playoff hopeful for the pure thing of it's a balanced team, and there's not many good pairings. So, like your best pairings, I mean the Firewater you're missing your Firewater Grass Code being Reshiram, Primarina, and I'll say Sinistra is really good. I think it's gonna come down to how well Toasty plays, which sucks because I rather have a team that I don't have to play well for and do well in. That was like my Torkoal team. I didn't have to play well. I just had to click the buttons. Morial bundles is a new person. Has to be. Who is it? I'm missing two. Morial. Is there another Canadian here? Am I not the only one? I guess Totu is also Canadian. Is there another one? Who has bundle? Oh, it's Mr. TJP was bundle. He drafted one of his mascots. Okay. This is the Chi-Yu Bundle Chempal team. So Chi-Yu Bundle Chempal, Clef Key, Basque Legion Male, Overquill Forges, Flux Ray, Victory Bell, Deoxys Attack. Now, immediately you've noticed Chi-Yu Bundle, hard to deal with. But you also see Chempal. People don't like having Chi-Yu Chempal on the same team because of the anti-synergy they can create. But if you can dodge that, it's insane. Now, he has a cool raid mode with Clef Key, Basque Legion Male. That is a thing. Clef Key is a great disruptor. Prancer screens, changing weathers is something that people just have to deal with. Overquill, does it get Swift Swim? Does Overquill get Swift Swim? It does. So you have Swift Swim and Intimidate in the mod if you want, which one you want. Forges, you do have bundles. So you have a cool thing you can do, in which is get booster speed bundle, and then have Forges actually pass a choice specs onto it. So now you have a booster speed bundle with specs, something that's super dangerous. Flux Ray, good Intimidate Mon, Victory Bell is there. Deoxys Attack with the last pick. He drafted very smart, held that pick very last. It does good damage. I know it dies to Sucker Punch. And that's really it. But I think this team's good. I think this team's weakness is Trick Room. I can tell you that much. Very fast team. It also doesn't have a way to set Tailwind. So its speed control comes down to Clef Key using Trick Room and Bundle using Icy Wind. Other than that, it has no speed control, which is not great. It also doesn't have Fake Out. Yeah, you don't have Fake Out or speed control, which are two essentials on a team. It has Intimidate. Yeah, your essentials are speed control, Intimidate, Fake Out. There's one more I'm missing. Can't think of it right now. But I think obviously the team's good, right? I'll put on the high end of playoff maybes. For the pure reason that... Yeah, I'll put on the high end of playoff maybes. For the main reason is that it's missing a few of the essentials, which you need. Now, the next team has one of the best logos I've ever seen with the Wisconsin Cheeseheads, and that is the last team that's not me, which I'm pretty sure is another new person. That's Cruz, right? No, not Cruz. Cyrus. Yeah. Who are we roasting? I'm next, but we're gonna go off the Groudon team now. I think the Groudon team has the same issue, but a bit better than what Harvey has. Where it's a Sun team that really wants Sun up at all moments. Groudon Wake is great. I think Gastrodon on this team is phenomenal, because with Gastrodon, it lets Wake Terra Fire very safely, because you take away one of the weaknesses. Also, Groudon's scary. Obviously, Wake is scary. Darkrai, it loses some of its value in doubles. It lost a lot of value because of the nerfed Dark Void, mostly because of Smeargle. Venusaur, a great Pokemon when Sun is up. It loses a lot of its value when Sun is not up. Tinkatime, Mold Breaker Fake Out is phenomenal. Being able to, Thunder Wave things that are normally like resisting or immune to it because of its ability. Jolteon, great speed control. It gets screens, so it's one of the fastest screen setters. Blissey and Hitmonlee can also do okay, and Scrafty, another Fake Out user. If you want to run offensive Scrafty, you can, but I doubt it. Again, this team has two main weaknesses. One is Trick Room. Your slowest mons are going to be like the Gastrodon and the Venusaur, which are not things you really want to fight with inside a Trick Room. And the other weakness is just turning off the Sun. 1, 2, 3 things, and those are your main attackers, and they want Sun. So that's something you'll have to deal with. Yeah, I don't think Darkrai's worth it. I think being 50% on Dark Void sucks. Especially because once you click Dark Void, let's say that you, let's say you put, like, you click Dark Void, you put one to sleep. After you put that one Pokemon to sleep, there's just another chance that you miss the partner, and then you try to put that same Pokemon to sleep twice, right? Like 50% on Dark Void sucks. And yeah, very top-heavy team. I don't mind top-heavy teams. I do think the main things you'll see are like these. I think you might see Scrafty, but I don't think you ever bring Scrafty over Tinkaton. I think Tinkaton's always better just because of its typing. But I do think this team does have some like glaring weaknesses. But I still think it's a good team, because if you don't check it, you lose. I think it's definitely a playoff, maybe. I would put it in front of Stoob. Yeah, probably in front of Stoob behind Scoobar. I think that's fair. I guess I'm the last team. And I can talk a lot about my team, because I know when I drafted it. I love this team. This is a great team. It's one of the better teams I've drafted. I drafted a team that I'm comfortable with. I was able to trade down and get Fluttermane, which was dumb. And I have a great 2-2-2 team, right? So I have Fluttermane, Moth, Weezing, Gigas, Dozo, Geary, Hitmontop, Torkoal, Jumpluff, Hisuian Electrode, and Drifloom. Any chances of Venusaur Sleep Powder Darkrai? Yeah, I think that's probably your best bet if you want to go, like, use Darkrai offensively. Yeah, if you want to use Darkrai offensively, your best bet is to be Sleep Powdering with Venusaur in Sun, and then have Darkrai, you know, do his thing. But I think that's a bit hard, because it's not, like, Darkrai isn't as good offensively. Yeah, I drafted a 2-2-2 team, and it's gonna be great. The nice thing with this 2-2-2 team is that I can make so many pairs. It's not like I have 8 Mons that only make 1 pair each. If I want to, I can go like Fluttermane Torkoal as a pair. I can go Moth Torkoal as a pair. And there's obviously Torkoal Jumpluff. Fluttermane Moth is a great pair. Weezing Gigas is a great pair. Dozo Geary obviously is the big pair. I have Trick Room here and Tailwind with Drifloom. I had someone cook me with a Hisuian Electrode, so I decided to draft it. Yeah, exactly, Hisuian Electrode, yeah. Now, the main thing here was I don't have a restricted. I think I'm the only team now without a restricted, which is fine, because Gigas is basically a restricted. Yeah, I think this team's great. I think Electrode Hisui is phenomenal. It's one of like the picks I was happiest to get, because I can do the fun thing where you just Terra whatever and then Terra Blast before their restricted goes. So if I'm playing against Rayquaza, I can Terra Fairy, Terra Blast, Hisuian Electrode before Rayquaza moves. If I'm playing against Shadow, I can Terra Dark, Terra Blast before Shadow moves. If I'm playing against Zamazenta, I can Terra Ground, Terra Blast before it moves. All that fun stuff, right? It's great. Or I can just, I'm pretty sure it gets Reflect. I think it gets 1 screen, and then also Speed Control. Hitmontop, Glue Pokemon, right? Fake Out, all that fun stuff. I've been using it for VGC, so now I'm like fairly confident with it. Torkoal, I can do War Criminal things, where I click Eruption, or I can do support things, where I just set up Sun, helping handle Fluttermanes, all that fun stuff. Yeah, Covert Cloak Hisuian Electrode was not fine. Weezing is phenomenal. I think just in this stream alone, I've said a lot of teams struggle without their abilities. Look at Schminy's team, all want their abilities. Spuds, all want abilities. Nine Limes, all want abilities. Steven, all want their ability. Cyrus, Baby can fight without them, but he still really wants his ability. Nue wants their abilities. Toasty wants her abilities. Scuba, like everyone wants abilities. There's no team that's like, oh yeah, I'm fine with losing my ability. Which is why Weezing is so good. The only thing I have to be worried about is where you position the Weezing. If you position Weezing beside something like in a good spot because like honestly, if you position it beside Flutter Mane and I'm running a booster energy, it's gonna be tough. Or if you position Weezing beside Torkoal, it's gonna suck. But Weezing has this fun thing you can do called switching out. The idea of being able to fully control abilities is something that's really good. I don't have any Defiant Pokemon here, but on VGC teams, I had like a Kingambit Weezing, and if someone would bring in Incineroar, and they can bring in Incineroar safely against Gambit with Weezing because it's not proccing Intimidate. But that's when you just switch out Weezing to proc their Intimidate to proc your Defiant, and you can do all that fun stuff, right? Or there are teams that got a bit too safe with like playing with their abilities off, so you just turn them back on. You can do fun things with Weezing. You just have to know when to switch in, when to switch out. You can't be too like a lot of Weezings will like to protect every other turn. You just can't be that predictable. Yeah, only redirect being Rage Powder Jump Fluff was something I noticed. It's not great. The only thing that's the main thing I don't like is my redirection. But I also feel like I'm fast enough with this team that I don't have to worry too much about it. I mean, the thing I'm super excited for is the pair of Flutter Mane and Moth. You can do this very fun thing where you run a Specs Flutter Mane, and then you can actually speed creep Moth to be booster speed. And then when you do booster speed Iron Moth, you click Acid Spray. And then you Acid Spray and you click any move with Flutter Mane, and whatever you targeted is now dead. Also there's Dozo Giri. That's another thing you have to worry about with positioning is like stopping Haze. But honestly, I think this team is great. Now, where's my weakness? I think my weakness comes down to how I play, which is not good. Again, I like teams where I don't have to think. I don't think I'm weak to Trick Room because I have Trick Room fighting Pokemon, like, you know, Torkoal. But I only have one. I have one Soul Pokemon. So if I get put in a Trick Room matchup, it can be tough. But I also think that's fine for me personally because of how much I play Trick Room. I kind of have that in my head of what to do, right? Like when I played Robbie this season for playoffs, I felt very confident when he put me in Trick Room because I know what to do in Trick Room. I know how everyone plays in Trick Room because I've done it against everyone. I think I'm in the high end of playoff locks. I never win a league. I don't win leagues. But what I do is every season I make the playoffs. I go positive, okay? I'm always in the playoffs. I might not go far, but we're always in the playoffs. Is there anything? I don't think there's anything I missed. Is there anything I want to change? I think the only like league winning lock I have is I think Robbie wins this league. Like his team, like just based off his team and how he plays, I think he has a super high chance. Is there anything I want to move though? I might move Baby up. No. This is where I just get to... Like, I really want to move this up for the pure fact of the team is good, but it's missing some VGC essentials of, like, it doesn't have Fake Out, it doesn't have Intimidate. Does it even have Redirect? It doesn't even have... I guess I think Victory Bell gets Rage Powder. Yeah. I'll keep it here. Is there any other teams I think... I do like Scoobar's team a lot. And I think it's... I'll move Scoobar's team up ahead of 9 Lives. It's better than... It's not better than the Calyrex Shadow team, I don't think. No, I don't think it's better than Calyrex Shadow team. And then, do I think Steven's team is... Yeah, I think that's right. I like where this is. So this is when I get to do the fun thing. We just download this. And I... do that. This is where I send it to a Discord server, and I let them complain about it. And this is So after I stop recording, like I stop streaming this, I'll post the VOD, and I'll put timestamps on it so that you don't have to scroll through the, what are we at now? Probably hour, 2 hour, an hour, yeah. So we don't have to scroll through an hour and a half of a VOD. I'll put timestamps on it to make it easier for everyone. Yeah, I'm excited for Dynasty. I think it's gonna be sick. I hope that sticks around longer than like one season. I hope we actually get to play everything through. Yeah. I mean, I do think Robbie wins this league. I think Robbie wins the league, just based off his team and his play style. I don't think I like leaving this tier empty because I don't think anyone has a bad enough team to just say screw it, I'm tanking. I think everyone has like I don't think there's anyone who's like, oh yeah, they're out of the playoffs, they're screwed, just give up. I also like it that tanking doesn't do much. Like obviously if you tank you get the first pick, but like for example